folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network. Hey, I thought I'd throw in another podcast for you today because there are so many things that I want to discuss. But first of all, I want to put this out to Billings, Montana, to the theatrical crowd out there. There was a workshop, a play reading workshop, anything that you want to work on, anything that you want to, work on. You got a one act, you got a couple of scenes you want to work on, you need some help doing it? We can help you. Nova, Center for the Performing Arts over here on Montana Avenue here in Billings, is having a play reading workshop next Friday between 5 and 7 p.m. That would be, let me go look and I'll give you the exact date. That would be the 16th of June over at Nova Center for the Performing Arts on Montana Avenue between 5 and 7. So that would be a play reading workshop. That's next Friday, the 16th. Of June 2017 between 5 and 7 p.m. If you are interested to go, please let me know as well. Or RSVP the theater and over at Nova Center for the Performing Arts on Facebook. Let them know that you are interested in being a part of it. It's free. It's free. Just come on. It's free, There you go. They got drinks, they got concessions, they got a bunch of stuff as well. So anyway, come on by the play reading workshop at Nova Center for the Performing Arts, and I will see you there because I got some stuff I got to work on. So hey, why not? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is going to be like a breakdown of just basically what I've talked about today, and a few other things which have come up in the last several hours since Comey's, former FBI Director James Comey's testimony on Capitol Hill. So I want to make sure that y'all understand what is happening. Okay, Comey Chronicles. Okay, let me just go over to here and tell you this. InfoWars Nightly News, 8th of June 2017, Comey Chronicles bombshell clips from Senate hearing. Former FBI director's testimony was full of devastating revelations. Basically, I heard some of it, and he pretty much shot himself in the foot. Despite admitting President Trump, quote-unquote, simply hoped the FBI would drop its probe into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, former FBI Director James Comey said he interpreted this as a direct order, which contradicts his sworn Senate testimony on May 3rd. Former FBI Director James Comey admitted Thursday to orchestrating leaks to the press in hopes of promoting the appointment of a special prosecutor. Okay? Just want to lay that out there for you because he was hoping all of this would go away by now, I'm assuming. Marco Rubio asked Comey, why so many leaks about the investigation kept being released to the press, but he couldn't explain. Comey took Trump's quote-unquote hope that he would quote-unquote let go of Flynn investigation as an order. Former FBI Director James Comey openly admitted before the Senate Intelligence Committee that he leaked memos to the press. It seems like every senator has been able to get Comey to contradict his sworn testimony that he was ordered by Trump to halt the investigation. Under questions from Senator Dianne Feinstein, former FBI director admits he is a coward and was afraid to tell Trump he was not following proper procedure. Comey confirmed that a New York Times article about Trump colluding with Russia was based on false information. Here, quote-unquote, contradicting Comey, tries to rationalize why he did not inform the public that President Trump was not under investigation. During his testimony in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee today, James Comey repeatedly stated that President Trump effectively ordered him to stop his investigation into Michael Flynn. This statement, however, directly contradicts the testimony he gave to FBI Oversight Committee on May 3rd of this year. During his testimony, James Comey detailed how he leaked his Trump conversation memos to the New York Times. I'm putting that up on the American Liberty Radio Podcast Facebook page. So did he perjure himself? He gave a testimony. He lied. Did he perjure himself? Does he deserve to go to prison? Does he deserve to go to jail or get probation or whatever they want to do up on Capitol Hill? You know, I myself personally don't know the law enough to really say whether or not it would be a good idea for him to go to prison. I really don't. So, so let me go here. I want to make sure that people understand both sides of this situation. I want to make sure that people understand that there is the right thing to do. Okay, just both sides have their own thing that they're doing. Okay, that's beside the point. Everybody knows that. But there is only one answer. Okay, there is only one answer. Now, it only comes down to people agreeing to that one answer. Not agreeing what that one answer is, but agreeing to the one answer that will make everything right. So this is, I want to point that out before I read this article. Betting site lowers chances of Trump being impeached after Comey hearing. Ex-FBI director's testimony only appears to have helped the president. Everybody has their own view. Everybody has their own side. Everybody has their own, whatever it may be. And they purposely want to spin the good things to their negative narrative. Let me read that headline again because I'm going to tell you something. Betting site lowers chances of Trump being impeached after Comey hearing. Ex-FBI director's testimony only appears to have helped the president. There is less chance of Donald Trump being impeached after Comey hearing, according to one major betting site, suggesting the former FBI director's testimony has, if anything, helped the president. UK-based bookmaker Ladbrokes has lengthened Trump's odds of being impeached to 4-7, changed from the previous 4-5, meaning he is less likely to be impeached after today's events. Despite leftists eagerly anticipating the spectacle, with some expecting it to signal the beginning of the end of Trump, Comey's testimony only seems to have solidified the president's position. Pro-Trump accounts across Twitter were buoyant after the testimony, pointing out that Comey only seems to have presented more headaches for himself and the Democrats. That's going up on, there's a lot more to that article. That's going up on American Liberty Radio Podcast, folks. I'm doing a supplementary follow-up podcast because there was so much else to talk about that I wanted to do an extra hour, but I had stuff I had to do outside of the studio, and so this is why the podcast. So anyway, I also want to go here. Because it's important to understand where Where is the foundation for the left? Where is the foundation for the left? At what point did the Democratic Socialists, the left, the lefties, the progressives, at what point did they abandon the principles of peace, freedom, liberty, and security and say, well, piss on it, we're just going to take over the damn place and we're going to do things our way? When did that happen? Where did their foundation go? Because in the beginning, back, many, many years ago, so many years ago, over 200 years ago, the Democrats literally were the party of the people and literally wanted to grow this country and literally were on the side of the people. Somewhere in history it switched, and the Republicans became that, and the Democrats were all against that. Well, let me tell you the difference between a Republican and a Democrat and the parties themselves. Let me just plainly put it this way. Democrats, 51-49. Excuse me. Let me correct myself. Democrats, winner take all. Republicans, 51-49. That's basically what it is. When you look at the whole de-evolution of the Democratic Party, when you look at the structure of the party itself today as compared to 200 years ago, you're going to see a massive freaking difference in how things are, in how things have rolled for them over the years. You're going to see this. This is going to be apparent. It's going to be in your face. You're going to find that the collapse of the Democratic Party has been going on for decades, even centuries, because they got it wrong. Okay? Somewhere in history it flipped. They went from the, for the people into this whole, New World Order, one world government type of thing. I don't know when that was, maybe the late 1800s or something. I'm not sure, but this is what we have now. Okay? So when did they lose their foundation? Mikhail Thalen, over at Infowars.com, 8th of June 2017, Snowden on Comey. Quote, it seems the FBI director agrees, unquote, with leaking. NSA whistleblower defends leaking to press amid Comey revelation. Well, I don't call it a leak. I call it, the people in the White House, the people in Washington, D.C. that know that are in the know, that know what's going on, need to, and if the mainstream propaganda media is not telling you the truth, these people need to go to the independent media and to the alternative media and say, here's the real deal. Your mainstream is not telling you this, but here's the real deal. It's not a leak. It's the responsibility of those people in Washington, D.C. to hold their bosses accountable for what they do, like insider trading. Did you know that Congress, I think it was within the Bush administration, or could be farther back than that in the Clinton administration, they signed documents, they signed things that made it legal for Congress to engage in inside trading in New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange. They did that. Yeah, go look it up. Go look it up. It's out there. But they're not stopping it. Or at least I don't think they have. I'm not sure. NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden used former FBI Director James Comey's testimony in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee Thursday to defend his leak of classified surveillance documents to the press in 2013. Comey, who allegedly kept detailed notes on his encounters with President Trump prior to being fired last month, admitted to giving an associate permission to leak details to those memos to the media. Quote, President tweeted on Friday after I got fired that I better hope there's not tapes, unquote. Comey said, quote, I woke up in the middle of the night on Monday night because it didn't dawn on me originally that there might be corroboration for our conversation. There might be a tape, unquote. Now, I can break that down and say, Donald Trump's old enough to remember when Nixon was president. And there's 18 minutes of the Nixon tapes that are missing and gone somewhere. And I think that he was referring to something of that nature. The president was referring to something of that nature. I think that's my take on it. That's my opinion. I have no idea. I'm not in President Trump's head, but I think that's what he was alluding to. Continuing, arguing that he wanted to get his version of events provided to the public, Comey stated that he asked a friend, now confirmed to be Columbia Law Professor Daniel C. Richmond, to, quote, share the content of the memo with a reporter, unquote. Quote, I didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel, so I asked a close friend of mine to do it, unquote. Comey added. Snowden took to Twitter to point out how Comey allegedly felt he had a moral obligation to leak to the press, drawing parallels between himself and former FBI director. This is going on American Liberty Radio podcast as well. There's more. Anything I read, there's possibly going to be, more to it, or a little link that says read more. So I'm putting this on American Liberty Radio podcast. This is, by the way, coming from Infowars.com. And now, let me go here. I'm looking for other stories that and they're probably not even on here now because it's been, several hours, but let me go to World News. I go to World News. Russia challenges CNN to report on real story behind Aleppo boy photo. Something going on there too as well. Qatar puts military on highest state of alert over fears of imminent incursion. The escalation comes at the same time as President Donald Trump allegedly changed course on Qatar. Isn't that interesting? That's Russia, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, all those have been in the news recently, and Zero Hedge has reported this as well. The escalation comes at a time as President Donald Trump allegedly changed course on Qatar. Qatar. Yesterday's news that Saudi Arabia has issued an ultimatum to Qatar listing 10 demands, among which Qatar ends all ties with the Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas, has prompted a dramatic response by the same Gulf state, and according to a just released report by Arabic CNN and confirmed locally, U.S. officials have said they have observed increased Qatar military activity as the country placed its forces, quote, on the highest state of alert, unquote, over fears of an imminent military incursion. The sources add that Qatar military has brought up 16 Leopard tanks out of storage in Doha in preparation for a potential military incursion by surrounding Gulf states. Furthermore, the Qatar Ministry of Defense reportedly also sent a letter to Saudi, UAE, and Bahraini governments saying they would fire on any naval ships from those countries that enter into its waters, a U.S. official said. U.S. officials have said the situation in Qatar has not affected U.S. military operations and security in Qatar. So this is going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. I want to give you a heads up, folks. I want to give you a heads up. American Liberty Radio Network is in need of your assistance if you are so inclined to feel the need to. We are upgrading some equipment around here and remodeling the studio. We're looking to get better equipment. We're looking at remodeling parts of the studio. We got some things to do, and I say we as if I got a mouse in my pocket, but there are some things that have to be done around here to make the broadcast and the podcast much better. I'm looking for volunteers. I just want you to know that too as well. I'm looking for volunteers for marketing and for, all of that. And, contact me. Let me know what your experience is, but I'm looking for volunteers. In other words, can't pay you right now. That's just, I can't do that right now. So I just letting you know. I'm looking for volunteers that would like to do this and just help out as much as they possibly could. That would be fantastic. But American Liberty Radio Network is listener supported and also supported by local advertising. If you are in the local area of Billings, Montana, in Laurel, in Park City, in surrounding areas, please contact me or go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page and check out what I got there. That's AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. And if you're not up to advertising right now, that's okay. Become a patron. Click that little link that says Become a Patron and drop $1 into Kitty so we can keep the lights on around here and upgrade and remodel this place for your benefit. So we're looking to expand. I've got one show on the network. That would be Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. It's on American Liberty Radio Network or his channel at distortedreality.podbean.com. And you can go listen to our show we did last week, and we're going to do another one next week as well. So, yeah. So there you go. You can help out. You can help if you are so inclined to do so. I would very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, I do want to say, and I want to make this plain and simple. I'm not begging for money. I'm just asking if you're able to help. Please do. That's all. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I do take donations. So, hey, if you have any questions about it, though, please email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. And, yeah, one show note here. Next Monday, this coming Monday, this is Thursday, right? Yeah. Next Monday at 8 o'clock Mountain, that would be 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Mountain. I'm going to have the Truth Experience right here, live. The Truth Experience. I wanted to do the Wayne S. Pierce show, but I thought, I want to do something else. So, the Truth Experience next Monday, live right here on American Liberty Radio Network at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 Mountain, 9 Central. So, check it out, and yeah, we'll go from there. The Truth Experience. Hopefully, if I can work out some bugs here in the studio, I can get Nick Tucker on the show. Hopefully. If not, hey, that's just the way it is. But anyway, the Truth Experience, Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on American Liberty Radio Network and AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page if you are so inclined to want to advertise with the network, you can, or become a patron by clicking the link. Become a patron. So there you go, folks. Want to get that out of the way. Because I have to. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, folks. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have here? Let's go to, I'm going to go to RT.com because they got some really good stuff over there, and I'm sure they have information pertaining to the Comey, I don't know, Senate hearing. You want to call it that? All right. Theresa May's future in question as exit polls predict she'll lose Tory majority. Let's take a look at that because that's very important. Theresa May is Prime Minister. The PM is already facing calls for her resignation following the publication of the poll, which predicts Labour will gain an additional 34 seats in the House of Commons, bringing it to a total of 266. Former Tory Chancellor George Osborne, who was attacked by Theresa May when she took office last year, has said if the poll is correct, it would be, quote-unquote, completely catastrophic for the party and the PM. If the poll, let's see here. If the poll is correct and the Tory majority drops from 330 MPs to 314, pundits predict May could be forced to resign, making her one of the shortest-serving prime ministers in history. I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast. It's very interesting because we have a somewhat of a decent relationship with the UK. The United States does. Well, if you know the history of the U.S. and the UK, you know our relationship is a bit strained. Is a bit strained at times. You know what I mean? So there you go. I was going to talk about, and I talked about a little bit on the earlier podcast that I did about Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski's dad, Zbigniew Brzezinski, who passed away recently. I was going to talk about them, but I'm not because, well, I just don't have time, and really I don't want to puke on my shoes talking about globalists like that. Moment, terrorists storm Iran parliament caught on CCTV. It's really graphic. I'm not going to put it up there. This is on RT.com. You can just scroll on down and find that one. Verizon to slash over 2,000 jobs after acquiring Yahoo for $4.5 billion. That's with a B, folks. A B, boy. $4.5 billion. Verizon's going to slash 2,000 jobs. They say that now, but it's probably going to be more, after acquiring Yahoo for $4.5 billion. I remember quite a while ago when they had all the Bell companies like Pacific Bell and Southern Bell, whatever it was, right? They had all those, right? I remember when AT&T was still around and they got sued and went to court and the Supreme Court, made them break up, and that's when they had all the Bell companies and all this, right? I remember when Pacific Bell was bought out by Yahoo, or not, was it Yahoo? I think it was. Yahoo bought them. And I remember making web pages years ago with GeoCities, I think it was. And then Yahoo bought them, and then it got really screwed up, and then everything just went to hell in a handbasket, so you never see any of that anymore. Basically, my point is this. There's only going to be one or two companies that are going to be doing all of the cell phone and internet service that you have. Cable, well, that's Spectrum. They're going to get bought out by somebody, I'm sure. Give it 5 years. I'm just going to... don't quote me on this, but on the 8th of June 2017, I am saying within 5 years, Spectrum or Charter or whoever you use that's part of that conglomerate, they're going to be bought out within 5 years. And they're going to be one company, not the many little companies that you see. Okay, within 5 years. Don't quote me on that. But I'm just saying on the 8th of June 2017 that this is what I'm saying, okay? So anyway, yeah. I don't know, folks. I mean, I can sit here and read you the news. I can read you about Brexit in peril. What would Theresa May's political demise mean for Brussels talks? Because they're not completely out yet. So that's one of the things. I can talk about all that. I can talk about North Korea in a period of great vulnerability. U.S. may be tempted to attack, and that's in quotes. I can even talk to you about business. More people betting against Tesla than any other U.S. company. Musk bites back. I can talk to you about that. This is all on RT.com if you'd like to go check these out as well. Okay. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know where else to to take you, and I want you to be fully informed. So, I spoke about Joe Scarborough and all them, so let's go to MSNBC to check out what's going on over there. Let me tell you their spin on the Comey testimony. They're saying, Ken Delanian, Corky Simasko, I don't know, over at MSNBC.com, Comey, White House lied, quote unquote, plain and simple, about firing. Fired FBI Director James Comey testified Thursday that he was, quote unquote, confused and, quote unquote, concerned when President Donald Trump told the public he was firing him for undermining the morale of the agency he had led since 2013. Quote, those were lies, plain and simple, unquote. Comey said the Trump administration, he said, quote, chose to defame me and, more importantly, the FBI by saying that the organization was in disarray, that it was poorly led, that the workforce had lost confidence in its leader, unquote. Comey also said that while he didn't want to express an opinion on whether Trump was seeking to obstruct the ongoing investigation into Russia's meddling into the presidential election, he is, quote, unquote, sure the special counsel, Robert Mueller, will be examining that, and he said he is sure he was fired because of, quote, the Russian investigation, unquote. I'm just going to let you read their spin on it from here. You notice they're not looking at how Comey lied in, pretty much contradicted his earlier testimony on May 6th. Right? That's MSNBC. Okay? That's MSNBC. So let's go to another lefty organization, CNN.com. MSNBC is a lefty organization. I just back against the wall, just go back to your neutral corners and shut the hell up. CNN has said, we're under siege, Trump says. Trump team says Comey revealed nothing new, but sources say Trump is digging in. Let's take a look at that from CNN.com. Kevin Liptak over at CNN White House producer. Thank you, Kevin. 1 minute before noon Thursday, just as the FBI director he fired was imploring him on national television to release secret tapes of their White House meetings, President Donald Trump strode the Oval Office to his idling car and was whisked from the South Lawn. On the surface, at least, it was business as usual for Trump, who was due to deliver a speech at a gathering of Christian conservatives at a hotel across town. Inside the building, he was departing, however, and across the street, I hate when videos just start on their own. This is really beginning to tick me off. There. Let me go back. Inside the building, he was departing, however, and across the street, across the city, he traversed the outlines of the new reality were emerging. Excuse me, let me reread that again. That damn video it starts on its own and pisses me off. On the surface, at least, it was business as usual for Trump, who was due to deliver a speech to a gathering of Christian conservatives at a hotel across town. Inside the building, he was departing, however, and across the city, he traversed the outlines of a new reality were emerging. The old standbys of a scandal-gripped Washington, hired lawyers delivering statements far from the White House, day-long stakeouts outside officials' homes, non-answers of the White House briefing room, were dusted off with little expectation they will be packed up soon. I'll let you go read that since I was terrible at reading most of that. So there's more. It's a whole article, folks. So go check that out. It's one fight after another. It's one fight after another. It's not even about defense anymore. It's not even about coming together and finding a common ground where we can all work together in Washington, D.C. and help this country stay strong and safe and protected. It's not about that anymore, folks. It's not about that anymore. It's about divide and conquer. It's about the Democratic Socialists and the Republican Fascists coming together and taking what they want. Okay? This is the way it is. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Now, I want to, let's go to, I always like doing this too because it's interesting to see what other people have to say. So let me go here to CBS Evening News on, well, let me go, I went to CBS.com. Don't want to do that, so that was wrong. Let me see if this goes here. Oh, yes, it does. CBSnews.com. Defining obstruction of justice after James Comey testimony. Throughout hearing, the former FBI director was careful not to say whether he thought Trump broke the law. No, that's not it at all. Now, I'm just going to put this out here right now. Okay, I'm going to put that link to CBS News up there. I'm not even going to read any of the articles that I saw because it's just pointless. I want you to recognize or to understand at least what the opposition is doing. That's bottom line. Bottom line. We have a constitutional republic. It's a representative, if I can say that word correctly, represented republic. The constitutional represented, whatever. You know what I'm saying. We are a constitutional republic. I get so frustrated. Words hit my head at 1,000 miles an hour and I just can't keep up. It's a metaphor, folks. It's not, I don't have any serious problems, all right? We live in a constitutional republic as of prior to 1871. We live in a constitutional republic. That's what we live in. That's who we are. That's what it is. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? Since 1871, we've become a corporation. And if you don't believe it, well, I don't know what to tell you. My point is, folks, we all have to work together to make America great again, to borrow the phrase from President Trump. We all have to work together. But you see, there's always going to be opposition out there that's going to create conflict because they don't want to work together. They don't want to have peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the nation. No. They don't want that. Excuse me. They don't want that. They want chaos. They want to conquer and divide. They want to do everything they can to separate people, separate them from other groups that have that have thoughts and ideas that are far beyond the tyrannical ideas of the Democratic and Republican parties. They're called progressives, folks. And I'm not talking about Flo, the progressive lady. I'm talking about political movements based upon tyranny and corruption, and I mean, you name it. I mean, it's all there. That's what I'm looking at. But I've never, growing up as I did and going through the history and reading all about this, I never thought I'd get to the point of actually seeing the United States of America collapse. I thought I'd be long gone by then. No, it's going to collapse in my lifetime. So is Canada. By the way, Canada is on the verge of collapsing too. Now, any politicians in Canada need to get a hold of me, and if you want to tell me exactly what's going on, that would be great. Any of my listeners that are in the neighbor up north, please let me know. Was I wrong in saying that Canada? Sorry. Am I wrong in saying that Canada is on the verge of collapse? You tell me. You tell me. Folks, it's what it is. We do what we do here in the independent media, as I am a part of that. And we do what we do because we can. We do what we do because we know how. We do what we do because we see the real issues. We don't pussyfoot around. We find these things. We know they're out there. It happens. Okay. We don't like it any more than you do. But your mainstream propaganda media is lying to you, lying to your face. And they don't care. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
This would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Lang with Live Truth Radio and TV. You're listening to Wayne S. Pierce with American Liberty Radio.
Hey, folks, how you doing? Thank you, Brian. Brian Lang, LiveTruthRadio.com. Go check him out. Live Truth Radio and Television, LiveTruthRadio.com. Go check him out as well. I am... I'm going to go to Yahoo News or Yahoo.com and go to the news section and tell you what's going on. I'm going to tell you exactly as soon as my web page decides that it wants to... You see, folks, I'm in the studio and I have Wi-Fi in here. Okay? And sometimes, and I say sometimes the Wi-Fi's awesome. It works. It's there. I got no problem. But like today, yeah, it decides to want to burp a lot, so I don't know what's going on. How Trump lawyer botched attack on Comey testimony. Attorney Mark Gasowicz, is that what it is? Or Kasowitz? I don't know. Appears to have gotten his dates wrong while accusing former FBI Director James Comey of leaking privileged conversations. Yeah, so the left is going to spin that, I'm sure. I don't know, and this is me. I don't know. From my particular perspective, I do not know why I don't know why Congress is wasting money, getting these testimonies and having them televised and all. I don't know why. This is rolling over in my head a lot. I don't know why they're wasting taxpayer dollars when they can just meet with the head people who are in this, committee in this hearing and sit down with Comey and just go over all the information. Why do they have to make it a spectacle is what I'm saying. Why? I think it's only for the benefit of the lefties out there that want to see Trump get skewered. Let me go here, folks, and then I'm going to get out of here for the evening. Earn minimum wage in the U.S. You can afford to live in exactly 12 counties. Alistair G. over at The Guardian. Study finds one-bedroom rentals are affordable in a dozen mostly rural counties in the West, and 2 bedrooms are entirely out of reach for low-income workers. A person working a full-time minimum wage job will find it virtually impossible to rent an affordable home anywhere in the U.S., according to a study that sheds new light on the country's housing crisis. It's not a housing crisis, folks. The report reveals that there is not a single county or metropolitan area in which a minimum wage worker can afford a modest 2-bedroom home, which the federal government defines as paying less than 30% of a household's income for rent and utilities. First of all, folks, let's define modest 2-bedroom home. Continuing, and in only 12 counties in the country is a modest 1-bedroom home affordable, according to a report published Thursday by the National Low-Income Housing Coalition. Didn't know there was such a thing. This applies even in places that have raised their minimum wage higher than the baseline federal level of $7.25, which equates to about $15,000 a year. In Los Angeles County, the minimum wage is rising to $15 an hour for all employees by 2021. Excuse me, that's only 4 years away, folks. But the current wage required for a 1-bedroom there is $22.98. Continuing, in New York City, the minimum wage is rising to $15 an hour for employers by 2019, but the wage needed for a 1-bedroom soars above this at $27.29 an hour. Less overheated real estate markets present difficulties to low-income workers as well. Averaging rents across Alabama and Montana, someone earning minimum wage would have to work approximately 1.5 full-time jobs to be able to afford a 1-bedroom home. That's in comparison to minimum wage, folks. Americans earning minimum wage do not need a study to know how difficult things are. Well, I'm just going to highlight that as well. Let me tell you, the study is well executed. This is in quotes, said David Beery, an associate professor of public policy at Virginia Tech who was not involved with the project. Quote, we learned from it that housing is in the coastal U.S. is exceedingly expensive, he said, and that in cities, wages are, quote, not really moving in line with increased pressures, unquote. The most expensive counties and metropolitan areas in the U.S. are indeed maritime or thereabouts. In San Francisco Bay Area and in the Honolulu, New York, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. areas, San Francisco renters must earn, get this, $58.04 an hour to afford a two-bedroom home. The 12 counties where a one-bedroom is affordable are in Arizona, Oregon, Washington. As the report notes, these are states with their own higher minimum wage or minimum wages and are mostly rural. While numerous localities and states have boosted the minimum wage, they may need to be more ambitious. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, the minimum wage is about $8.50 an hour, but housing costs for a one-bedroom would require a wage of $13.70 an hour. In St. Louis, Missouri, the minimum wage is $10 an hour, but $13.20 an hour is needed. In Tacoma, Washington, the minimum wage is $11.15, lagging the one-bedroom cost $17.02 an hour. Put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast because you're all wanting to know. I have crunched some of the numbers in the minimum wage catastrophe. I say that because you can't live on minimum wage. There's no way. Okay. There's no way. There's no way. Okay. That is why I believe we should get rid of the minimum wage. Now, they mentioned Washington and Oregon and California and New York and all those areas. Okay, fine. That's a region where it takes higher, or I should say it costs more to live. That's a region on the coasts, on both coasts, where it costs more to live. Okay? I don't know why, but it does. Then you have, of course, the middle area of like Montana and Wyoming and Colorado and, Kansas and all those areas. You got all those areas. They have a certain minimum wage. So anybody out there can crunch these numbers. So I'm going to put these numbers out there, and I want you guys to crunch them if you would, please, because, this is important to know how much it's going to take to live. Just on a basic level. I'm not talking about some 55-inch screen TV in your home or a Hummer sitting out in your driveway. I'm talking basic living. I'm talking basic living. You have your fixed income with your fixed expenses. Basic living. All the other stuff in between is you got to save, $5 here, $10 here to go out to the movie in like a month. You know what I mean? By that time, the movie you want to see is probably out and on video already. Basic living. Crunch the numbers. Because here's why. I believe in getting rid of the minimum wage and implementing a fair market living wage per region. Fair market living wage. Define fair market. Define a living wage. If it takes $50-something an hour to live in the Bay Area, then that's how much you should make. Well, companies can't pay that. That's it. The tech industry is right down. The heart of the tech industry is in Silicon Valley, and it's right down the road from the Bay Area. Okay? You see what I'm saying? You pay these people what they're worth, okay? Because these companies can't afford it. Oh, and by the way, when you pay that person that, I'm going to average it out and say $40 an hour in the tech services like Silicon Valley, don't give them health care. Don't give them the packages of healthcare coverage that your company offers. Get rid of all that so that money can go out and pay for, healthcare on their own and probably get it a lot cheaper than the company does. So you number crunchers out there need to send me that information. I've asked for it before and never got it. So I really would like you to do this. I insist that you do this. Thank you. I appreciate it because I want to know the numbers. I want to know the exact numbers of what it would take, when your basic living is your fixed income with the fixed expenses. Your utilities, your water, your garbage, your food, that's kind of fixed in a way, but you have a budget on that as well. Your fixed car insurance, if you have a car, your fixed expenses in terms of your healthcare coverage that you purchase on your own, not company funded. This kind of thing. So send me those numbers, folks. Send me those numbers because I really would like to know. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. I'm going to get out of here, folks, here in about 4 minutes. But before I go, I want to remind you that this is listener supported. So if whatever you can do, if you are able to do anything, please drop $1 in the kitty and become a patron and help us keep the lights on around here. And that would be AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. You can advertise on the network as well. All the information is right there. But there's a button there that says Become a Patron. Drop $1 in the kitty. All right, because I got to keep my coffee flowing and I got to keep the lights on around here. So if you're able to help out, please do. We got a crucial month coming up. So... Yeah, next month's going to be a little crucial for us around here, so we may be off air for a few days. Not sure. I've got to, go over some of the expenses that we got around here and see what's going on, and then let you guys know because it's important to keep you in the know. It's important to keep the news flowing. It's important to keep you aware of what's going on. So that's why American Liberty Radio Network is listener supported, and advertising is key to keeping the doors open and the lights on. So many things are going on right now behind the scenes that I'm not letting you know as of yet, but I will. And I will definitely keep you abreast of what's going on when I know more. And so probably next month's going to be a little tough for us. So, keep that in mind. And if you can, please help. If not, hey, no big deal. Just share this show with your friends. Let them know about American Liberty Radio Network. That's fine. If you want to advertise and have a product or a service that you want to advertise on the network, please do. Yeah, just go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. All the information is right there that you need. And if you have any questions, all you got to do is ask. That's all you got to do. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Folks, I got to go now, man. I got things I got to do. So, this is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.